Hey guys, Mike here. So today we're going to talk about Palantir stock and SoFi stock news, and starting off really why these stocks have been getting hammered and why they could continue to drop coming into this week we're going into. I'll show you that. And we'll go over the good news for Palantir. The CEO just dropped an interview a couple of days ago, as well as SoFi, and there's a big options play taking place with SoFi. I'm going to show you which one it is and why it is, and why it makes total sense, and it'll be one that I'm definitely going to play myself. Say what the heck. And so if you get anything out of it, please hit the like, subscribe button for me, guys. I really do appreciate it. It helps out the channel a lot. And so let's not wasting more time and just get right into this. And so starting off with Palantir stock chart, you can see here, guys, since earnings, it's been absolutely killed, right? Down 31% in 25 days. Obviously, it broke below that key support level of 21 right there. Tried to get back over it. It got rejected. Now we're approaching that 18 level, which is absolutely critical because it hadn't been below that in quite a while. If we just expand out, you can see, you're looking at another 5% drop to get to that level. We hadn't bounced off that since May of this year, and then if you look back, you have to go way back to November of last year when they actually IPO'd. And before we get into the good news for Palantir and the CEO's interview he just put out, there's one thing that's driving both these stocks down, as well as others just like it, and it is what some institutions you'll hear about, they're saying that they're rotating from growth to value, trying to anticipate what's going on next year. Now that they know that the Fed is most likely going to taper faster, which means less liquidity in the market, which is what has held and driven this market up this whole time. And then the fact they're talking about maybe there's a big chance they raise interest rates even faster, which are not good for high growth stocks at all. And so, you even have some retail investors I know that are moving out of growth and trying to rebalance. They're still in growth, but they're trying to balance out and put more value stocks that will perform better in that type of environment than these type of stocks. But as you can see right here, this is the S&P 500 growth and value performance that just came out a couple of days ago. And as you can see, looking at 2020, 2021, you got growth total return, and then you got value total return. Obviously, growth has outperformed that overall as of December 3rd, 2021. And then just looking at growth and value price indexes during the bull market from 2009 till today, obviously growth total return is much higher than the value total return. And so leading into, the good news for Palantir, obviously they got a multi-year agreement with Kinder Morgan, one of the largest energy infrastructure companies in North America. And this is what we were talking about when the infrastructure bill got passed, that Palantir will most likely benefit from that. And so Kinder Morgan will deploy Foundry to optimize the U.S.-based gas storage operations. Operators and decision makers will be provided with a common operating picture of the company's infrastructure, connecting transactional systems, data streams, analysis, and operations over supply, grid integrity, customers, and pricing. And then, of course, they secure another $43 million contract from Space Systems Command. It actually has a total worth of $91.5 million. And what this is actually a $43 million contract extension, expanding upon previous awards from April and August this year. The total cumulative face value of the contract is now worth almost $92 million. And it goes on to say the Palantir platform, known as Warp Core, is being utilized to make decisions from large volumes of data in support of these missions. And as you can see, Warp Core's work also extends beyond space domain awareness missions and was recently used by SSC and its partners to assist the evacuation of U.S. allies from Afghanistan. And of course, the first contract will obviously help grow the commercial revenue even more. As we remember in Q3, they accelerated by 37% year over year. And you can see right here going from 4% to 19% to 28%, now to 37% in Q3. So hopefully that will continue to drive up, because that was one of the big criticisms from all of the analysts. And as we also remember, they added 34 new commercial customers in Q3. Commercial customers count grew by 46% quarter over quarter, and commercial customer count increased 135% since December 31st, 2020. And so it's always good to see new contracts come in, especially on the commercial side for the company, and hope they continue to grow that into Q4. Don't forget we're in December, so this is the last month of Q4, and they're expecting a really good quarter. And so, one thing you got to keep in mind with Palantir stock, and you just got to live with it, if you're going to be an investor, a long-term investor in this one, is it's in this range. And one reason it just continues to stay in this range, it'll go up and then come back down, is because of how many shares are held by retail investors versus institutions. As you can see right here what I'm talking about, and you got 31% held by institutions, but a whopping almost 53% is held by retail investors, right? With insiders holding around 10.5%. And so with retail investors holding over half the stock, who's more likely to sell? A retail investor when the stock starts to go down, or an institution, right? And so that's something you got to think about. And, the CEO just dropped the interview a couple of days ago, and I'll give you the quick, tidbits of what he had to say right here.
Every single vaccine in this country is distributed in our software. We're bad at sales, but we're great at product. Most people who build products don't do sales. So you need to make sure it's about the product. And the second thing, which has, nothing, it's not my interest, is just, and this is, by the way, plagues the Western world. The Communist Party of France has in their manifesto, if they win, that they'll ban Palantir, which I'm proud of. And I'm progressive. But in any case, it's one of my great pieces of pride. I hope that, but in any case, we play a big role in Europe in anti-terror.
And so, of course, it's great to hear that, every single vaccine in this country goes through Palantir software. I've always said they do the same thing. In Europe, they're really embedded in that. Not good to hear, and I could totally disagree with him about how companies that make products are terrible at sales. I mean, there's many successful software companies who make the software or whatever product they make, and they're very good at selling it. And so, but that's what you get with him, is he's going to be blunt, or whatever his opinion is. And sometimes you get guys that are so intelligent, or maybe they're really good at investing and they're really good at making products, but not the best type of CEO you want, because they're just not good at selling stuff. And you can see him, he's definitely not good at selling stuff at all. And so, but they are building a sales team. We're going to see where this goes. And there may come a point, if I'm being totally honest, where they say, Alex, you got to step away. You got plenty of money. Let's hire a CEO that actually knows how to run a software company and understands that, yes, sales is the way to go. I mean, he's very big on the product and being number one, which is great. You still have to be able to sell the product. And this is a very complicated product to sell, because you really got to wrap your brain around what it is they do. I believe they have the best product, hands down. I don't know why in the world. I'm hoping to hear some news that they're trying to help out with this supply chain issue. Who better to use than them? But at the end of the day, if you're a shareholder, it's about making money. And that's just the real truth about it. And so hopefully as they continue to scale up the sales team, and he doesn't say, that people that make products or companies that make products aren't good at sales. Hopefully we kind of dampen that down, and we go the other way and say we're really good at sales. And, understand that this stock can definitely go down more. And the reason why I say it can go down more, it has nothing to do with the company per se, and SoFi either. It just has to do with this week, man, we got CPI data coming out. That's inflation data. And a lot of other economic data is coming out. You got year end here. You got tax harvesting taking place. You got right now, we're in a downward trend at this point in time. A lot of momentum pushing down. And so, we're either at the point where we'll start having a Santa Claus rally, or continue to push down. And if the inflation data comes out, high again and keeps rising, you can almost guarantee that the stock market is going to continue to sell off with that kind of information. So that could obviously push these stocks down. And if it breaks below 18, shows you in the chart, it happened in May, happened last year, there is no support below that, right? I mean, no major support. So, we'll see where it goes. A lot of people, I think, are buying in. They're kind of expecting that and holding back on buying, which is why it continues to kind of drop down. So we'll see. We're about 5% from that. All right. So anyway, now let's go on to SoFi stock, and we'll start off with the chart first, and then get into the options and any news about the company. And starting off with SoFi stock chart here, looks a lot like Palantir, and this big drop right here. You can see ever since they reported earnings, we're going down 38% in around 18 days. And as you can see, it broke that key support level of 16, and the next support level is around a little over 14. We haven't seen that level broken in about 2 or 3 months, and then from there you see it bounced off of it twice, one in between May and June, the other at the beginning of the year. And really what's going on, guys, you see all these fintechs getting destroyed. Upstart, SoFi, Lending Tree right here. And a lot of it just has to do with Jerome Powell, and he said we're going to retire the word transitory finally. And, then you got, what I'm talking about, spreading. And then, of course, you got 2022 where people are looking at higher interest rates, faster tapering. You can see Affirm's down 23%, Upstart's down 19%, SoFi's down 19% last week, Lending Club down 21%. And, like it says here, and I usually don't read articles, but I'll read this one because it's a good one, parts of it. The double whammy for the sector came when Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told Congress he would retire the use of the word transitory, i.e. he'll stop lying to us now that he has his second term confirmed pretty much. And so amazing how that worked out and the timing of that. And the big problem is, while higher interest rates mean higher yields on loans, which will help these companies, they also make the cost of borrowing higher for the consumer, typically leading to higher default rates, which in general can be higher in some of the loan segments these fintech companies operate in. Just a few months ago, a new study by Credit Karma showed that 1/3 of U.S. consumers who have tried buy now, pay later products have missed one or more payments already. And it goes on to say higher interest rates are also bad for fast-growing companies because it makes the cost of doing business more expensive and hurt earnings growth. And this is why that bank charter for SoFi is so critical, and what gives Lending Club a leg up or a competitive advantage over them is the fact that, remember, SoFi cannot keep those deposits on their balance sheet to lend that money out. Lending Club can because they got the bank charter at the beginning of the year, which is why you've seen their stock price just skyrocket. And so if they can get that soon or relatively in the next 3 to 6 months, they can keep those deposits on hand, lend it out, stop having to borrow the money from other banks at 1.5% to 2% interest, right? And so that would drop a lot to their bottom line, plus make them more competitive and be able to give the customers a lower interest rate and stuff like that. And so that is key, especially in this times if we're going into a higher interest rate atmosphere next year, which most people expect, and less liquidity in the market. And so that is essential for them. And so, the last bits I got for you, one is, it's always good to see a big whale or, a billionaire going in on a high growth stock like this, first of all. And then we'll get into the options and why people are going into the options. I'll show you the chart and the pattern. And I mean, it's plain as day, anybody can see it. And so, the risk reward are pretty good on it. And of course, the billionaire I'm talking about is George Soros. He's a very famous investor who's made a lot of money. And so he knows, like I said, he knows a thing or two about finance. And when he makes a big ticket purchase, Wall Street pays attention. So heads surely turn when Soros opened a position in SoFi stock at about 178,000 shares, valued at $3.2 million. Not too long ago, also increased his position recently. And so that's something that's a good thing to see. And now going into the options play that people are really into, and also the price point at which they're buying the stock itself.
Second one is SoFi, and I love picking up SoFi beneath $15 today. They were buying the March 15 calls with the stock at about $14.70, I think, Frank, or something like that. So that's probably a 2-month trade for me or longer. Love the stock, and I loved getting into it at much cheaper prices right here.
And you can see all the calls right here that he's talking about. You got July 15th, ton of volume, a lot of open interest on that. You got March 18th, 2022. You see the open interest and the volume on that one right there. And of course, going on what he was saying about getting it below 15 or around 15, you can see the institutions are absolutely loading up as the stock drops. They've added a bunch in December so far. And the reason why people are loading up at a certain price level here and the options, because you see right here, when it bounces off around 24.50, it usually comes down, bounces off around 14.20, and then goes back up. It's done it once, down, up twice, down, up 3 times now, and it's getting very, very close to that support level. And if you can catch it and it goes the same pattern, you're looking at around a 73% upside in just a matter of a couple of months. And that's buying the stock. If you get into the options and that happens, you're looking at a huge return on the options most likely. And so, I just want to put that out there to you. Let me know what you're doing. Are you buying or waiting for it to go down to that price level? And also what you're doing in Palantir as usual. And so, I hope you got something out of it. Hit the like, subscribe if you did. Really appreciate that. Of course, never forget to hit that link down there in the bottom. Sign up for a BlockFi account to earn 9% on your Stablecoins, 9.5% on your Tether, and 4 to 5% on your other cryptocurrency, as well as earn the 1.5% back on Bitcoin for every purchase you make on that credit card, guys. I will see you later.